Hello, colors. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on the latest developing stories for Football Club Barcelona. We are going to begin with Raphinha, of course, talking about Raphinha's potential return from injury. We saw him last week against Real Madrid in the second period. And of course, it has been reported that Raphinha is eager and determined to reclaim his place in Xavi's setup. We are going to discuss more on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Leo Messi, as the Barca legend is reportedly still very hot by Barcelona president Laporta's management. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So as we get right into the full stories, please, if you haven't subscribed, endeavor to do so. For those who are just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very much welcomed. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. It has been a very difficult season so far for Raphinha. You know, what with having to deal with multiple injuries, multiple setbacks. Following the departure of a certain Dembele, Raphinha was expected to become the first choice right winger for Barca under Xavi's tutelage, but his sending off in that opening game of La Liga against Getafe opened up the doors for a certain Lamine Yamal, who therefore made the most of his opportunity, relegating Raphinha to the bench even after Raphinha had served his suspension. Just when Raphinha appeared to be regaining his form, he suffered a thigh problem during the win against Sevilla last month, ruling him out for close to a month. Having made his return from injury this past weekend against Real Madrid, Raphinha is now gunning to re-establish himself as a regular starter for Barca under Xavi Hernandez, according to reports from Sport. Raphinha picked up a thigh injury during the match against Sevilla, as I earlier said, towards the end of September, which sidelined him for nearly a month. During that period, Raphinha missed 4 games in all competitions. That is against Granada, against Athletic Club, against FC Porto and Shakhtar Donetsk in the UEFA Champions League. The former Leeds man returned to action last Saturday against Real Madrid in the first El Clasico of the La Liga season, playing a little under 15 minutes in that defeat. Of course, Raphinha has not had the easiest of time since he joined Barcelona last year, but has delivered for Xavi and co whenever called upon. Having missed a good chunk of matches already this season, the Brazilian international is eager to make up for lost time. Raphinha believes that he still has an important part to play. Of course, he's still an important part in the team and can be a difference maker for Xavi. On top of that, with Lamine Yamal's minutes piling up and Ferran Torres blowing hot and cold at times this season, there may be a window of opportunity for the winger. We hope so. I hope so. Raphinha has been out for quite a while. We saw him against Real Madrid. Of course, Raphinha has always been an important player, but has not been the level which have been expected of him, to be honest. I don't think there's any Barca fan out there who will say what Raphinha have done so far has been spectacular, because to be honest, it has not really been the level. Yes, it's true that Raphinha always delivers at times when the game is a little bit tight and we see Raphinha just back up and do something spectacular. But Raphinha himself knows better that he has not been the level that he wanted to be. He has not lived up to the expectations. That is just the honest truth. And I always have this belief in me that Raphinha will one day, in fact, sooner rather than later, I strongly believe we are going to see that Raphinha that we as callers want to see. Of course, the injury ordeals this season, not just for Raphinha, but from some other key players this season, has really hampered our team. And Thank goodness they are coming back gradually in the Clasico last weekend, which ended in a very bitter defeat. We saw some of those players who were sidelined returning from injuries. Lewandowski, Koundé, Raphinha all played some part of that game. And of course, Raphinha, it doesn't come as a surprise that he really wants to step up his game. And of course, he really wants to be an integral part in the team under Xavi. We have seen Lamine Yamal playing a handful of games this season, of course. And part of the reason why we have seen Yamal enjoying a good chunk of game time has been the due to the fact that we see Raphinha not being present due to his injury. He picked up a thigh problem, as I said earlier, against Sevilla at the end of September. And of course, Lamine Yamal had to play a lot of time because Lamine Yamal is more of a right winger as well. So let's see actually if Raphinha can convince Xavi, because we see Xavi and the coaching staff already putting their trust so much in 16-year-old Yamal. Of course, many have said Xavi should not over put pressure on the young star, or should not over put a lot of game time on that young lad, because he still has very soft, how can I put it? He still very has soft bones. So I think they have to manage him quite well. Rafinha has a vast experience and therefore he needs to be the starter most of the times. So moving on to the next story of discussion, it has been quite a week for Messi. The Argentine was recently crowned yet another Ballon d'Or title, the eighth of his career so far. Messi was honored with the prestigious trophy on the back of his exploits in the 2022 FIFA World Cup as he beat both Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. The attacker currently playing for Inter Miami also honored Barca in his speech while addressing how he would have liked to end things differently. Shortly after his speech, though, rumors erupted, suggesting that Messi had met with Joan Laporta, discussing the possibility of holding a farewell match. Messi himself quickly trashed those rumors as he publicly called out Gerard Romero as spreading fake news. As things stand, Leo Messi remains crossed with Laporta and his management, majorly for the way he was treated during the summer he left Barcelona. This has been reported by El Partidazo of COPE, which suggests that the distance between the two parties is really tremendous. This lack of harmony between Messi and Laporta could complicate things for Barca if they are to invite the Argentine back to Catalonia for a farewell game. It was reported earlier that Barca are planning to host a farewell game for Messi once the renovation of Camp Nou is done and dusted. But until then, the two parties are in a very precarious situation, and it appears Laporta still has a long way to go before he can bring back things to normal. One would also expect that the current dynamic between the two parties may have also been a reason why Messi's potential return to Barca this summer couldn't quite work out. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.